Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Gooner. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you're all keeping safe. And yeah, listen, I'm by myself, as you can probably see. Listen, I thought I haven't done a solo stream for a good while now. So I thought I'd do this little stream. Listen, first and foremost, I do want to say one thing as well. The Spurs review and player ratings potentially might not happen because I've not been able to find time to fit it in. What with the preview coming up for tomorrow's game, the problem is the games are coming thick and fast, and I'm trying to fit everything in with also going on other people's channels as well. And at the moment, unfortunately, not finding enough time to do it all. So listen, the Spurs review potentially might not happen. So I'd like to apologise for that. And listen, the preview is going to happen. That will be coming up later this evening. Hopefully, I'll have a couple more people on, and that potentially will be either at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I need to work out. I need to work it around other people's previews as well. You know, I know Ryan from the Mr. Arsenal podcast is planning on doing a preview. So I need to work out with him so it doesn't obviously clash, and we can either do it beforehand or afterhand. So it might be 7 p.m, it might be 9 p.m, but listen, there is going to be a preview coming on this channel. But yeah, apologies once again for the Spurs review. Listen, I haven't had time to fit it in. With things getting gradually back to normal now, so I'm starting to go out a bit more as well. So yeah, I do apologise for that, but thank you guys for being patient. Also as well, the watch along for tomorrow's game is not going to be on here. It is going to be on the Mr. Arsenal podcast. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, please do go and subscribe to the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Also, listen, this might not be an incredibly long stream because my headphones are dying, so I don't know how long the battery's going to last in them. So listen, we'll keep it short and sweet, and I will get to some of your chats later down the line. But do you know what, guys, right? I wanted to come and do this stream because, listen, from what I'm seeing on Twitter by some Arsenal fans, and I tell you what, it absolutely baffles me. And as you guys can see from the title, you know, that some Arsenal fans need to get real. Listen, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. It baffles me, and it actually does baffle me because, do you know what, right? Since the North London derby, all I'm seeing is Arteta's not the right man for the job. He's out of his depth. He's not good enough for Arsenal. You know, he's not. You know, he's not up to the task. Never wanted him in the first place, so I don't want him now. And you know what, right? I get that fans are frustrated. I get that because we'd lost the North London derby, and losing to the scum is always hard to take. Listen, whether we deserved it or not. But everything that goes wrong with Arsenal is always Arteta's fault. And do you know what? It's starting to pee me off a little bit because I get that certain fans didn't want Arteta in the job. And listen, everyone's entitled to their opinions. I'm not coming on here to slag off anybody's opinion or to say that, you know, to say that their opinion is wrong, you know, in terms of Arteta, they didn't want Arteta. Listen, that's fair enough. But beating a manager constantly over the head with this proverbial stick when he's only been in the job since the end of December, he has not had any transfer windows. You know, yes, he's made a few mistakes in terms of, you know, his substitutions have been late. His tactics in certain games maybe have been wrong, but listen, the last 3 or 4 games, he's been spot on with the system. Now, okay, it didn't work against Spurs, but that is not his fault, right? That is not his fault. You look at the goals we conceded against Spurs are both defensive errors. Now, we were seeing these same defensive errors from these same players way before Arteta was at the club. So I find it hard to believe that Arteta is to blame for those defensive errors. And you know, I've seen people on Twitter going, "Oh, but he's giving Mustafi and David Luiz contract extensions." Listen, that is speculation. We don't know whether he's giving them contract extensions. Yes, the reports are out there saying that, but listen, there's a lot of reports. And do you know what makes me mad, right? These same people are jumping on, Thomas Partey's coming to Arsenal. Oh yeah, I think, you know, he's definitely coming. No, that's not a definite either. So if you're prepared, if you're, do you know what I mean? It seems to me like that Arsenal fans pick and choose what they want to believe, right? And it's just, it feels like there's a bit of an agenda against Arteta because certain fans didn't want him. Now, here's the thing, right? When Arteta was linked to the Arsenal job, I didn't want Arteta. I didn't think, you know, he was good enough because he lacks experience. But listen, he's here, and just because I didn't want him, it doesn't mean to say that I ain't going to back him, because I am going to back him. Do I think it was the right appointment? No, I don't. I don't think it was the right appointment because I feel we needed experience. We need experience. But listen, he's here, and we've got to get behind him, whether you think it's the right appointment or you don't think it's the right appointment. Yeah, sure, criticize his decisions, question them. Listen, I've questioned the fact that his substitutions have been a little bit weird, and that his tactics maybe have been questionable, especially in the first two games. You know, since the restart from the pandemic. Sure, question that, but don't constantly jump on the, oh my God, Arteta out, you know, because he gets decisions wrong. And listen, I have to think, right, that I don't understand it. I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. I don't understand why there's this hate towards Arteta. And do you know what it is, right? Do you know what it is? These same people didn't want Unai Emery in the job. But yet, when he was appointed, they still gave him the same chances and didn't beat him over the head with the proverbial stick as they are doing to Arteta. And I just think it's wrong. And I just think certain Arsenal fans need to just get real and realise that the bigger issues at this club are the players, not the manager. Because here's the thing, right? Say we do sack Arteta, which will please the majority of this fan base. Say we sack Arteta and we bring in an experienced manager. They're still going to have the same problems because these group of players aren't good enough. Now, you can keep chopping and changing managers all you want, but if you're not going to change the group of players, the results are, unfortunately, are going to be the same. And the same defensive mistakes are going to keep happening. Now, here's the thing, right? Yeah. We lost the game against Spurs because of our lack of defending. We didn't lose the game because Arteta is a bad manager. Yes, he took too long to make his subs. But listen, if you had to work with these group of players, you'd probably make those mistakes. You know, you'd probably make the same mistakes. Because the thing is, these group of players, they're uncoachable. And even the most experienced of managers is not going to get the best out of these players. And I just think, Arteta, you've got to give him a bit more time. to assemble a squad. Now, listen, I ain't going to get into the whole, but he's offering Mustafi and, he's offering Mustafi a new contract. Listen, until that's confirmed, I ain't believing it, because you can't. And the same, on the flip side, I'm not going to believe the Thomas Partey rumours until they happen, because that, again, it's speculation. But people, I don't believe any reports until like I said, I've said on many a streams, on many a watch-alongs, that until it's confirmed on Arsenal.com, I ain't going to believe it. Now, unless the Mustafi thing has been confirmed on Arsenal.com, it's all speculation. And listen, if it has been confirmed, then I'm going to look like a right prat, because, But you know what, right? If it's say Mustafi, they do give him a contract, right? You have to understand that we're in a difficult situation with a pandemic. We're probably going to be out of Europe, and things are going to be a little bit tight. But I happen to think that Arteta, with a bit more time, he'll be a good manager. Now, if he isn't, and it turns out to be that he isn't a great manager, and it turns out to be that he's the wrong choice, then fair be it, fair enough, right? I get that. My gripe with certain Arsenal fans is that they're not even giving Arteta a chance. It's barely been a minute since he's been in charge of this football club, and yet they're already writing him off. And yet the same fans didn't want Unai Emery in the job. They still gave him a chance. You were prepared to be patient with Unai Emery, even though people didn't want him in the job. But yet Arteta, apparently for some reason, there's this hate for Arteta. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the best thing, and I'm not saying he's going to be the next Guardiola. Sure, he's probably learnt things from Guardiola, but listen, it's one step up. Being a number 2 to being a number 1 is a big difference. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be all of any of those things, but we don't know. We just don't know. It's too early to say, and to make this judgment that I want him out is just absolutely ludicrous. I'm sorry, the fans that are saying they want him out is utterly ridiculous. It is an absolute joke. So yeah, listen, I wanted to come on and do this little solo stream because I haven't done a solo stream for a while. But yeah, all I'm saying is, you've got to see past, you've got to see past the fact that you didn't want Arteta in the job. Listen, I didn't want Arteta in the job, but he's here. So, what are you going to do? Spend the whole of his managerial career at Arsenal hating the fact that you didn't want him in? We've got to get behind the team, albeit a lot of these players need to go. We've got to get behind him as a manager and support him, because listen, it's a bit unfair to want him out of a job when he's barely had a chance. He's not even had summer transfer windows, and I just think it's a bit harsh to be this against him when he hasn't even had a transfer window and he hasn't even had a chance to get this deadwood out. And you know what? Sometimes you've got to make calculated decisions. And he's probably, if Mustafi does agree a deal and he ends up staying, listen, he's not going to be the player that we all want, but we need squad players. And Mustafi, he'll probably be a decent squad player because, he's not consistent enough to be a starter. But as a squad player, he can probably perform for about 2 or 3 or 4 games on the bounce. So having him as a squad player won't be a bad thing. Listen, he's not good enough for the starting lineup. And the same with David Luiz. Listen, a squad player, he's probably a decent squad player, but not consistent enough to be part of any team that's going to win us trophies or get us up the table or challenge for titles. So, even Man City have got squad players that aren't as good as like their first team. So like, listen, I don't want to make too many comparisons with other teams, because listen, we are in an absolute mess and we've got to sort that out. But listen, it's not all down to Arteta. These players, these group of players, all, a lot of them need to be binned. We all know that. And until that happens, there's going to be no change. You can keep chopping and changing the manager all you want. And Arsenal fans, there's a section of our fan base that will probably demand a change in manager. And that can keep happening. But as long as we've got these group of players, the same results. You could have Guardiola in charge of these group of players and it'd still get the same results. And people need to wake up and realise that before automatically jumping on Arteta's back. Listen, I'm going to get into some of your chats. So thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Remember, do smash a like and do hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Big up the Merseyside Rambler. Big up Liam Damon. Big up Cheddars. Big up Tabe. Miss Melina. Big up to you, Miss Melina. Yeah. Do smash the likes up. I'd really appreciate that. Yeah, big up Grant. Not seen you in the chat in a while. Listen, that's another thing as well. I try and not to collide with other YouTubers, because I do have quite a lot. I do have respect for other YouTubers, so I try not to collide, and that's not always an easy feat, Afternoon to you, Glenn. Ryan, I'm good, mate. Arsenal's Insight says people have turned on him too quickly, and they have, mate. And it's embarrassing. Yeah, and that's exactly right, Sam. They have. Do you know what I mean? People have turned on him too quickly, and do you know what? It's embarrassing because there's no justification for it, apart from the fact that they didn't want him as manager in the first place. David Luiz is official, John. I'm on about like Mustafi. Do you know what, Sam? I'm not sure that he was a panic buy, because you have to look at the fact of how long they took to get him. You know what, Grant, right? And you make a good point. So Grant says that he's been in the job long enough to know his best 11, and he's lost more games from winning positions than Unai Emery. Do you know what? I get all of that, right? But see, the thing is, do you even know a best 11 for Arsenal? Because I certainly don't know our best 11, because to be honest, we haven't got a best 11. And a lot of people will say, like single out Pepe and single out Lacazette, single out Aubameyang, single out Saka. Do you know the problem being, right, is that you can't play every player every week. Like Lacazette, would you really put him in our best 11? Because I'll tell you something now, he ain't going in my best 11. I know he scored on Sunday. I know he scored on Sunday and all that, but he ain't getting in my best 11. You know, he's not getting in my best 11. So listen, I don't buy that whole best 11 thing, because we haven't got a best 11 at the moment. I'm sorry, we haven't. There's too many rotten apples in this team. Hold on one sec. Yeah. Yeah, and Ryan said it, you know, Louise is only a year deal, and Mustafi is a rumour. Exactly, and people are just quick to blame Arteta. Listen, I get that, right? I get that he doesn't, you know, that he should know his best 11, right? But listen, to be honest, we haven't got a best 11. And you're going to say, oh, you know, Suarez. And listen, Suarez has just come back from injury, so I can sort of understand him not being played too much. Yes, he's played really well in the minutes that he's played. But listen, a lot of people, you know, that system worked against Wolves with the same players, and it worked against Sheffield with pretty much the same players. But it didn't work against Tottenham because the same old thing happens again. These players are inconsistent. Big up Jonathan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, please do subscribe, guys. And do you know what, right? Lee Judges said he done an interview on AFTV, Lee Judges, and got it spot on. Until we fix the defense, we're going to have the same old problems. Why? He played Bellerin instead of Xhaka, and then he played what? Then he played Xhaka. Why was he playing Xhaka ahead of Holding? Listen, Xhaka's different position, mate. Different position to Rob Holding. So I don't quite get your point. Yeah, okay. And is that confirmed? Just because he says that Mustafi's been playing all right doesn't mean to say, listen, come on, guys. A manager's not going to come out, and if he wants to get rid of a player, he's not going to come out and publicly say, do you know what, this player, I don't rate him. Come on, use your heads. Use your heads. You know, and just because he came out and said, yeah, Mustafi's been playing well, he's not going to come out and say otherwise, is he? Come on, let's have it right here. Exactly, John. You know, it's going to take a long time to fix this squad with whatever manager, and Arteta needs time, and some Arsenal fans are just not giving him time. Do you know the difference, Grant? Right, he may have worse stats than Emery at the moment, but Emery's had two transfer windows, possibly one transfer window, and Emery got us to a Europa League final and to a top four, almost a top four finish. We finished fifth and we lost the Europa League. Why? Because of these players, because these players aren't good enough. Emery lost his job because he made stupid decisions in the latter stages of his Arsenal career. and that's it. Our fan base flip flop. Nobody moaned when we were winning against Wolves. Exactly, Sam. Exactly. The fan base is just so reactionary. It's unreal. Because did anyone say this against Wolves and against Sheffield? And do you know what, Grant? Right, you're saying that stats matter, but then when it comes to Özil, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you can't look at his stats because his stats are shit." You know, because stat makes anyone look good. So your argument falls flat on its face when you're using stats. Because I bet you'll say that Özil's not good enough, even though people say he is based on his stats. Exactly, Sam. He's got an awful squad and he needs transfer window. Big up Justice. Big up Kevin, my regular co-host. Let's have a look. Listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but you know what? Some people, some Arsenal fans need to get their head out the clouds. Big up Simpy as well. Big up Liam. Let's have a look. Exactly, Jonathan Porter said it right. Yeah, do smash the likes up, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be back later with a preview. As for the Spurs review, listen, that's probably not going to happen now due to the fact that I haven't really had time. Yeah, and listen, Klopp done shit in his first season. Everyone was questioning Klopp, in his first season. But yeah, look, it takes time to build a team. Look, Liverpool is a good example of that. And I'm not saying that we're like Liverpool with our transfer business, because listen, our transfer business is appalling over the last 10 years. But listen, we've got to start somewhere. And, we have to give him time. Exactly. Exactly. Taib says you can't pick a best 11 with Deadwood in the squad. And do you know what though, Grant? I get it. You've just said a best 11 there, but that's in your opinion. That's in your opinion. So, and you put in Socrates into that best 11. Well, let me tell you, Socrates has made a good. You know, and you're putting Louise in there as well, which a lot of people are saying that because Arteta's playing Louise, he's not good enough. Also, Maitland Niles, he obviously clearly doesn't want to play in that position, so he's not being picked. And that best 11, unfortunately, is just down to your opinion. But you know what? Bellerin played all right in the first half, but in the second half he faded fast. Right, right. You know, Tyrone, you may have a point. Emery didn't get the players he wants, but you know what? The time to start moaning about that is when you're in the job, not when you've been sacked. And he only come out and said that when he only come out and said that when he got sacked. And that is it, right? That is it. Listen, I'm not saying Arteta's perfect. Don't twist my words, guys. You know, I'm not saying that you are twisting my words, but listen, don't get it wrong. I'm not saying that Arteta hasn't made mistakes and that he's the best thing since sliced bread. But I just think to keep constantly wanting him out when he's not really had a chance. You know, I just think it's a bit unfair. And listen, he's going to make mistakes. Emery made mistakes, but people still gave him time. So Grant saying Ancelotti's got more out of Everton than and he's got and they Everton's got a worse squad. But you know what? Obviously, the, people are saying. Do you know what? You can say that, right? That Ancelotti's got more out of his squad. Different type of managers, different type of manager. You know that's different. Do you know what? I'm not gonna buy this Arteta out brigade because I just think it's silly. I think it's utterly ridiculous. Exactly, exactly. Jonathan Porter said it right. We need to be patient, and if after Arteta's had a few transfer windows, then yeah, get rid of him. And he's still if he has a few transfer windows and doesn't fix the problems, then get rid. But you can't judge him now from the end of December. He's got shit to work with, and Grant, I get your 11 that you picked, but not all of them are consistent. You know, you pick Maitland Niles, you pick Socrates, well, he's inconsistent. You pick David Luiz, David Luiz is inconsistent. Listen, David Luiz has only been signed up for a year, and he's probably not going to play every single game. You know, he's probably not going to play every single game when Saliba comes in and Pablo Mari is back. They'll probably be our front pairing, our first choice centre pairing. Saka was on the bench because we've got so many games coming up. So listen, I'm not entirely sure about Maguire. And to be fair, Socrates has made mistakes as well, Grant. You know, Maitland-Niles, listen, I grant you, I'd rather play him over Bellerin. And like I've said, that, you know, Arteta's not blameless. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that everything he's done has been perfect. But what I'm saying is there's a difference between criticising him for a wrong decision and calling for his head. And I think you guys are just going to use some of the fan base are just going to use the fact that he makes a wrong decision and just want him out. You know what I mean? I just think it's ridiculous. I honestly do. And the thing is, right, it's all well and good, you know, saying that he is going to sorry, hold on guys, my speech cut out again. I don't know, my headphones, I think it's because my headphones are dead, so that hence why. Listen, it doesn't just come down to a matchability. David Luiz, you know, David Luiz has had some good performances. Yes, he's made some mistakes, but also David Luiz is a good leader off the pitch. Hey, Carol. Afternoon to you, Carol. Yeah, and you know what, Grant? Even Tottenham fans are saying that they didn't want Jose Mourinho and that he's finished. Listen, I just think it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit. I just don't see that we can call for his head. Listen, I said it. I'm going to give him 2 years and then criticise him because it's going to take 2 years to shift all this squad. And let me tell you, Grant, Jose Mourinho is finished. Jose Mourinho is absolutely finished. And I listen. I just Grant, your argument. Do you know what? Right, you're not actually saying anything that fills me with your arguments. Your arguments are just. I don't get it. I don't get what you're trying to say. I actually don't get it. I don't get what you're trying to say. Listen, I respect your opinion. I respect everybody who comes on here and puts in a chat. I respect all your opinions because listen, I'm not saying that everybody's not entitled to their own opinion. I'm just saying that it's, you know, criticize him for doing things wrong, absolutely, and you know I'll be right behind you criticizing him for doing things wrong, but saying that we need a change in manager, and that's why people laugh at our fan base because we are so reactionary. We are so reactionary. Like nobody ever questioned Arteta after the Wolves game. Nobody questioned him after the Sheffield game. But because we lost to Spurs and our defence made 2 defensive errors, because Arteta's not got much else to work with, so he's got to use the squad that he's got. He's not got much else to work with, and because listen, like I said, those defensive errors. We are seeing the same mistakes that we've seen for years, and Arteta's only been in the job 3 or 4 months. So what? Because we've seen them for years, that's Arteta's fault now as well, is it? Do you know what? It's just ludicrous. Oh, what okay, the Europa League and the FA Cup he won. The Europa League, was it the Europa League and FA Cup? Or was it the Europa? Yeah, Europa League and FA Cup. Anyone can win the FA Cup and anyone can win the Europa League. To win the Premier League, you've got to be consistent for over 38 games. But based on what, Grant? So you're saying that Arteta's crap and you don't see how anything's improved. It's gonna take more than a few months to improve this team. It is absolutely gonna. And you know what? If you can't see past that, then really, if you can't see past that it's going to take more than just a few months. He wasn't going to come in and work miracles on this team. Anybody who thinks that Arteta was going to come in and instantly make us world beaters, well, I'm sorry, then you just don't understand football if you think that. If you think that he was going to come in and change us all into world beaters, then that's listen, you obviously don't understand football if you think that. Afternoon to you, Steve. Yeah, he did. Do you know what he did? He did get beat in the last 32 to Olympiacos, but that was not all down to Arteta. That was down to the players being complacent because we'd had a good first leg. That's not Arteta's fault. Do you know what? Like, yeah, it's ludicrous. This is why our fan base gets laughed at, because there's fans in it with no substance to their argument. It's bloody stupid. And you know what? You wanna think that Arteta out. You want to say that Arteta's out next week if we win a game, everybody will be like, oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread. Listen, I'm not saying he's not made mistakes, because he has, and I'm not saying that he's perfect. He needs time. He needs time. You can't do nothing with this team. Okay, Grant. He had a January window. Not many people signed your top targets in the January transfer window. Only Liverpool have done it, and even then, Van Dijk wanted to leave Southampton. You're not going to sign if you want the players that we want. You're not going to do that in January. So you're up, and saying he signed two players. Yeah, Suarez was injured when he came, and like I said, getting slapped in the last 32 was down to the fact that we got complacent in the second leg. Again, no substance to your argument. I'm sorry. But we didn't. We won. And you know what? Like, Steve, listen, I get your point, right? I get that he's a rookie, and I get that listen, we were ninth when Arteta took over, we were ninth. We were ninth, and I completely get that everyone's saying because he's a rookie. But you know what? I don't buy that. Listen, I tell you what, right? Time's going to tell. Time's going to tell whether Arteta is the best manager or not. And I'll tell you something now. All the fans who are criticising him, and saying they want him out. Let's see, like if he succeeds, if he succeeds, the fans are criticising him to be out. Listen, I'm not saying he's perfect, and I didn't want him before he came, but I'm not going to keep beating him over the head with a stick because he's here because I didn't want him. At the end of the day, you get behind the team. Exactly, Jonathan. Exactly. Exactly. So Jonathan says Arteta may prove to be a failure, but we need to be balanced and give him a chance. Exactly. And you know what? Comment of the stream goes to you, mate. Not as cut and dry as that, Grant. You're saying that if we pay the money, we get the player. Not the player's got to want to come. The player's got to want to come to Arsenal, and the likelihood of doing that in January is very slim. And you know what? I get that, Steve. So Steve's saying Arteta's substitutions are wrong and late, and too many players playing out of possession, and he's leaving Pepe on the bench. Well, do you know what? The Pepe thing, even when Pepe's playing, I've seen people criticise him for playing Pepe because, listen, Pepe needs to do more. Pepe needs to do more, and my headphones have died again. But, Pepe needs to do more. But listen, we just got to give him a chance. We've just got to give him a chance, and I just don't think Arsenal fans are giving him that chance. At least give him a couple of windows. You've got to give him a couple of windows. Let's have a look here. There we go. Yeah. Let's have a look here. What else have we got? I'm going to read a couple more out. So you're saying Emery's better than Arteta, Grant? Yeah, well, that's why all the players down tools for Emery. Exactly. Do you know what? You know what though, Steve? Like, I get your comment, and he's saying that any player and manager that convinces Granit Xhaka to stay and signs David Luiz and then offers Mustafi a contract. Listen, Mustafi is a rumor. Luiz, I reckon he only signed as a leader in the dressing room. And listen, we're in a situation with the pandemic as well. We have to factor that in. And sometimes you've got to do short-term things to eventually reach your long-term goals. Exactly. Exactly. All right, let's have a look. Do fire the likes up, guys, and do hit the subscribe. Let's read another comment out. So let me read another comment. And actually, to be fair, you know, Chelsea fans don't turn on a manager. Chelsea fans don't turn on a manager after 4 months. So yeah, listen, guys, I'm going to end it there. It's been a great stream, and listen, I haven't done a solo stream for a while, so apologies. It's been a bit hit and miss. But listen, I will be back later with a preview, hopefully with a couple of guests on. But yeah, like I say, once again, you know, thanks to everybody who's stayed, who's who's tuned in, and thanks to everybody who's been patient on the fact that, yeah, listen, I haven't got around to doing Spurs review, but I wanted to do this. And listen, I just want to say this as well. You guys, everybody in the chat, and including you, Grant, as well, because I know you've been quite outspoken about your views on Arteta. But listen, I just want to say as well that I respect everybody's opinion who comments and chats. And listen, if we all agreed with each other, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? There wouldn't be no opinions, would there? So listen, you know, it's great to have this discussion, but listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Unfortunately, Grant, I disagree with your opinion, but listen, it's great that everybody can have an opinion. So yeah, listen, thanks everyone for tuning in. Like I said, I will be back later with a preview for the Liverpool game. And don't forget, the watch along is going to be on Ryan's channel, the Mr. Arsenal podcast, tomorrow. So it's not going to be here. But listen, thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Take care, and I'll catch you all later for the preview.